The winter solstice is significant in Celtic history and culture, as it is in many other ancient cultures. The Celts were a group of diverse tribal societies in the British Isles beginning in the Iron Age, and their spiritual beliefs were closely tied to nature and the cycles of the seasons. The winter solstice marks the shortest day of the year, usually occurring around December 21st in the Northern Hemisphere. In Celtic tradition, this event was often associated with the rebirth of the sun, as the days would gradually become longer and the sun would gain strength. The winter solstice was a time of celebration and ritual, symbolizing hope, renewal, and the cyclical nature of life. Ancient Celtic folklore played a large part in traditions surrounding the winter solstice. One story is that there was a battle between the Oak King, who ruled midsummer to midwinter, and the Holly King, who ruled from midwinter to midsummer. Each year, the two would do battle during the solstice, and the Oak King would always be victorious. His victory represented a return of the sun. A feast likely occurred during the solstice, along with bonfires and whatever alcohol had been fermenting over the course of the year. In Wales, Druidic traditions known as Alban Arthan, meaning light of the winter in Welsh, is celebrated on the solstice. This tradition represents the defeat of the Holly King by the Oak King. In Scotland, Celtic priests would cut mistletoe and give it as an offering. In Ireland, like other regions, the oak tree, nature, gods and goddesses were all crucial aspects of tradition and festivities. Cornwall had torch-lit processions, and in Brittany, the pagan tradition of decorating evergreens with fruits and flowers would have likely taken place. Sunrise during the solstice was one of the most important aspects of the celebrations of the ancient Celts. How do we know? Many of these ancient monuments and tombs still stand today. In Ireland, the Cid Ambroga refers to the Brúna Bóinne passage tomb complex, which includes Newgrange, Knowth, and Doth. Cid is often translated as mound or barrow, and is associated with burial mounds or passage tombs in Irish mythology. The Newgrange passage tomb, located in County Meath, Ireland, is a part of this complex and is one of the most famous prehistoric sites in the world. It dates back to the Neolithic period, around 3200 BCE, making it older than Stonehenge by about 100 years, as well as the Egyptian pyramids. Newgrange is renowned for its alignment with the winter solstice, during which sunlight penetrates the passage and illuminates the chamber deep within the mound. The term Cid Ambroga is sometimes associated with Newgrange, and it appears in Irish mythology and folklore. In mythological texts, the Sidhe are often described as supernatural mounds or fairy dwellings. The Cid Ambroga is sometimes translated as the fairy mound of Brú, or Palace of the Boyne. According to legend, these mounds were associated with the Tuatha De Danann, a mythical race in Irish mythology. At Newgrange, between December 19th and 23rd, a beam of sunlight slowly illuminates the tomb at sunrise and lasts for 17 minutes. If you want to see it for yourself, good luck. Only 60 people in total, plus a guest, are allowed inside, spread out over the days around the solstice, and there's a lottery to be one of them. If you want to play the odds, there are roughly 30,000 entries annually. Similar to Newgrange, in Scotland, there's Maes Howe on Orkney. It's a burial cairn built around 2900 BCE. The structure is in deliberate alignment with the rising and the setting sun. On the winter solstice, the sun enters the chamber and illuminates the 11-meter passageway, and then it begins its slow retreat at sunset. This event takes place roughly during 3 weeks on either side of the solstice. Towards the end of the passageway, a stone is present which is believed to have been used to seal the chamber from the inside, indicating the chamber was likely used for important rituals. Modern Druidic and pagan groups create their own rituals based on the winter solstice and Celtic themes. These rituals often involve meditation, reflection, and expressions of gratitude for the cycles in nature. The use of evergreen plants such as holly, ivy, and mistletoe in decorations during the winter solstice has ancient roots. These plants, which stay green throughout the winter, were seen as symbols of life and fertility. Hanging them in homes or using them in ceremonies may be a way to connect with Celtic-inspired traditions. One of the most well-known Celtic festivals associated with the winter solstice is Yule. Yule celebrations were characterized by feasting, bonfires, and the exchange of gifts. The lighting of fires was also a common practice, symbolizing the return of the sun and the triumph of light over darkness. Several modern-day traditions are influenced by Yule. Druidic priests were responsible for maintaining the Yule log. It was believed the sun stood still for 12 days surrounding the solstice, and they would use the remains of the fire used the prior year to light the log for the new year. Lighting the Yule log represented luck for the coming year. In addition to Yule, different Celtic tribes and regions may have had their own specific traditions and customs related to the winter solstice. The Celts, like many ancient cultures, deeply revered the natural world, and their festivals were often tied to agricultural cycles and celestial events. While our understanding of specific Celtic practices is limited due to the lack of written records, some of these traditions have been reconstructed or adapted in modern neo-pagan celebrations that draw inspiration from Celtic mythology.